Hello everyone and welcome back to the F126 MyTeam career mode. We are starting off as always with some housekeeping. First off, a meeting with Jack Crawford um, about next season, and this time we're in Miami, a track which I don't really like. It's actually a track I've not driven much because I think I've missed every Miami Grand Prix in SDA and I haven't played an F1 game since 2019 until this one. And I didn't really do Miami in my career mode before this. But yeah, we have a few upgrades going on the car, looking over the department upgrades, putting in some activities, just usual stuff to do in a career mode. But the expectations from Miami survive. I'm not expecting much from this weekend because I don't know the track. I'm basically a rookie, as we see three aero upgrades failing at once. So yeah, not good, but it's a typical Dacia morning. So we of course redevelop them, just trying to get as many upgrades as we can um, while we still have the cash and the resource points. It might become a problem later on in the season, especially when we need to start saving money for our drivers. But yeah, getting some upgrades. We're not really overtaking anyone on the graph, but we are getting closer. And this weekend we are going to drive as Jack Crawford. Uh, just for information. This is practice where I actually had to take a few laps for myself on the hards, just to drive around and get to know the track, because as I already said, didn't really know my way around. I knew kind of how the track goes, but no braking points or racing lines or anything like that. So I'm just doing laps on the hards, pretty much doing my own track acclimatization practice program. And it's actually okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the track, but it's fine. You can see my best lap there, it's a 131.7. I have no idea how good that is, actually. But yeah, this was pretty much my practice. I also did the programs, but this was all I wanted to get out of practice, just to know the track. And you can see it's going well. So I'm practice 1. These are the results. I will scroll down in just a second. Give past Lucio a second to scroll down. He'll do it animating now. Animating now. Come on. There we go. So we were P16 with Roman in P23. Not good, but it's practice. We now skip to qualifying. Our own one and only lap on the mediums in sprint Q1. Into this hairpin, which I've struggled with, especially with the exit all weekend, and traction just overall was a bit of an issue, but we do a 131.1 on the mediums, which puts us speed 24 for the sprint. Not good, but then we get to the results of actual Q1. Lando does a 26.6 and we did a 30. That's a big gap from us to Lando and from us to Lance Stroll. How am I 2 seconds behind Stroll?
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Verstappen. Antonelli, Hadjar, Sainz, and Alex Albon. Gasly, Ocon, Franco Colapinto, and Behrman. Alonso, Lindblad, Nico Hulkenberg, and Sergio Perez. Lawson, Bottas, Bortoletto, Stanek, Stroll, and Jack Crawford rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
The sprint is actually wet, as you can see, so not much strategy to go. It's just intermediates until the end. It will dry up, but it's a sprint race. So on the grid, 5 red light. It's actually pretty damn wet here, but we are on the inters, and it's 5 lights out, and away we go. It's a really good getaway, still a really good getaway, a fantastic getaway there actually, getting past Bottas. maybe side by side with up into P20, P19 now. As we go into turn 1 really slowly. It's pretty much dancing on ice here. But yeah, side by side I think it's 3 wide here. I'm on the inside, really struggling to get the traction on the exit. Lots of wheel spin. I actually make contact with Bortoleto there, so I lose 3 positions, 4 positions, back down to P24. Really, really undid everything I did on the getaway there on the start. Some contact with Stroll there. Can I go down inside into this corner? No, I cannot. It's not really an overtaking corner. It's a tricky braking zone, which is almost fun. But yeah, now onto the back straight, and you will see how bad it actually is here. As I struggled with understeer on a straight, I almost went into the wall there. Had I not lifted, I would have crashed into the wall. It was that bad. But yeah, into this big hairpin here. Going into this right-hander, which is really slow. It's kind of fun, this one. And now into the worst chicane in F1. I actually dislike this more than I disliked the Barcelona chicane. But yeah, everyone behaving well here. Onto the back straight, into the slipstream of Stroll we will be, and up into hot lap and S mode enabled. Can I make some overtakes? Into 8th gear. I get a run on Stroll, but I can't. I barely reach 300 kph. Side by side with Stroll, I move back to the right side. Maybe go around the outside here. On the traction, really tricky, as I said. Looks like Stroll has better traction out of the corner, so he keeps P23. We are still last after the first lap. This is not good. Down the inside, maybe into turn 1. Not quite. He leaves me space there. I clutter the curb. We are side by side now to turn 2. Turn 3 I have the inside, but this is also tricky traction zone, especially as you're turning. So Stroll is still in P23. How am I getting mugged by Stroll? Really not my weekend, is it? And I have a yellow flag coming into the hairpin on A2 here. Someone's come off. It's a huge slowdown, and it's a red flag. There's been a huge crash involving Hadger, I think. You can see him there. So we get a red flag. We are going to rejoin in almost dry conditions. We are going to put on the mediums until the end. And you will see why I say almost dry. If you look closely, you'll see 3 raindrops falling. Not good. 5 red lights again, and away we go. And it's a really wheel spinning start. Still wheel spinning. Still wheel spinning. Up to 5th gear, finally stopped the wheel spinning. Down inside of a lot of cars. Up to P20. We are still racing pretty much under wet conditions. So no boost mode and limited straight line mode. But as I said, up into P20 just behind the Williams of Alex Albon. So it's a decent start. We actually kept the positions this time, so it's better. Lap 4 of the race. Huge understeer moment there, a warning for track limits, that's fair. Down the inside of Albon here. Can I get lost onto a bit of contact, but he leaves me space. It was actually a little bit of contact. I say that literally. We barely touched wheels. Up into hot lap. Can I get into 8th gear? It seems I cannot. This is frustrating. But yeah, Lawson now is going to come on my inside. Albon also thought about having a look. We have another yellow flag, so somebody must have DNF'd or spun or something. There's a huge cloud of smoke from one of the cars in front. We'll see who it is, as everyone's slow in front. Oh, it's Hadger, and we make contact with Hulkenberg. So Hadger caused the red flag and the yellow flag. It's really not Hadger's race in this sprint, as he's now out. But yeah, we have a bit of front wing damage, but it's nothing lethal. It's actually just lime green, so it shouldn't affect us too much. Up into P16 though, I kind of illegally overtook Hulkenberg there, but it seems like the game let me get away with it, so we're not going to overthink it. Alonso up next. Finally stuck behind the correct Aston Martin in this race. We'll see if we can maybe use the slipstream to get by him, because we don't have boost mode. It is drying up, and we just see right now that our rear ring has failed. I mean the straight line mode the actuator of the rear wing does not work anymore, so no more straight line mode, and it's really going to hurt us, as you'll see on this straight here. Um, Still can't get into 8th gear, and Hulkenberg is looking really hungry. He's going to go down my inside. Lawson is going to pick the outside. We're 3 wide into the hairpin as normal grip mode gets re-enabled. For everyone else but me, you'll see in a second as I get onto the back straight that I get onto the power, and I swear, hand on my heart, that I was trying to push the boost button, the overtake button, and it was not working. I also didn't have straight line mode, but that's because of the car fault. But there was some sort of glitch with the game, I think, and I still didn't have boost mode, even though normal conditions were enabled. The overtake pops up there, but I still can't use boost. Trust me, I've tried it. I was spamming the bottom right now, nothing was happening. It was really frustrating, as everyone was just kind of flying past me. You saw with Lawson there, and Hulkenberg is next, Albon not too far behind. And you'll see here still no straight line mode on the rear wing. Hulkenberg goes by, and so does Bottas, as we have another yellow flag. Albon also, so 3 positions in one straight. I have literally nothing to defend with. Who's the yellow flag though? I'm curious. Around the outside of Bottas we will go. No straight line mode needed there. So still in P19, Arvid Lindblad is out. Another engine failure it seems. So the second Ford power unit to go in this race. And that's kind of curious to see, because I was thinking of choosing Ford for Season 2. But I'm not so sure anymore. We'll see how they develop over the course of the season. Not that I'm not liking the Audi power unit, but I don't know, I'd like to see how the Ford works. But yeah, lap 10 out of 10, we are in P19, Stroll is right behind us. Lando Norris has won the race once again. He's easily the most consistent driver of the season so far. And he's leading the championship. Goodbye Stroll, nothing to defend as I've said. Luckily Bortoleto behind has a 10-second penalty, I don't know how he's got that. But he has a 10-second penalty, so he's not going to be an issue even if he overtakes me. I actually ran out of fuel, just to put salt on the wound. So it's going to be P20 in a sprint. P21 make that, as Bottas just flies by. Not the sprint we wanted, but we were honestly not looking at points anyways. So on to the main race, the actual proper good race. Here are the results. It's a McLaren 1-2 with Russell in P3. Sainz actually got into the points there, so it's a good sprint for him. Yeah, Lindblad and Hadger are 2 DNFs, and Bortoleto only behind us because of the penalty. So on to qualifying then, on to the softs, like a proper qualifying session. We actually got to do 3 laps here, which was good. And we were actually faster than we were in the sprint. I made some adjustments to my setup, fixed some of the understeer I was getting. It's a 129 to start off, and we're actually going to improve into the hairpin, as you see here. A big gain there, 1.5 tenths, and we lose all of it on the exit, as I struggle with some oversteer on the exit. Not traction, just oversteer. So yeah, we were 2 tenths slower. But now with a really good slipstream from Baron here, 1.5 tenths up as we start the straight, up to 2 tenths, almost 3. We come up to the braking zone, and I almost run into the back of Behrman, side by side, not ideal on the exit, but we are almost 4 tenths, 3 tenths now, 2 tenths. As we come to the line, what's it going to be? Oh. So we were actually faster than we were in the sprint, but still P24. And Roman is into Q2, our first Q2 of the season, and it's Roman. Yeah, we were 1.5 seconds off, not ideal.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Piastri, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Antonelli, Verstappen, Sainz, Albon and Pierre Gasly. Colapinto, Alonso, Valtteri Bottas and Lawson. Perez, Stanek, Gabriel Bortoleto and Arvid Lindblad. Ocon, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Behrman, Crawford and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
This is a strategy for the main race. We were stuck with the softs because we ran out of tire compounds to use during the weekend. So it's a soft to medium to hard. It's not ideal. I'm not a huge fan of this strategy. I would have liked to maybe do a two-stop medium to hards, but we don't have any mediums left. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have maybe not done SQ1 at all, just save a set of mediums. You can say I'm trying everything, but I just don't have anything to do. So it's going to be a pretty difficult race considering the stops and the tire wear.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
On to the grid then. We are forming up right now. I'm just looking to gain some positions, not finish last. Actually, we are not last because Hadjar got a penalty, but we are pretty much there. 5 red lights out and away we go. It's a decent getaway. Ocon has a really slow start, so everyone is attacking him really aggressive down the inside of a whole bunch of cars, side by side with my teammate now for P16. We're up to P17 after just one corner. It's a really good start, 5 positions then, so we're looking good. Let's see if we can make up some more as we come into the S's. I don't like these S's. But yeah, down the inside of my teammate. Will I do it? I will not do it. I'm a good teammate. I'm a peaceful teammate. I'm not going to risk his race because he's clearly got more pace than me this weekend. But yeah, into the slipstream now and on the boost. That's going to be an easy overtake. Can I get Perez as well? On the outside, yes. Side by side into the braking zone. He's faster into the corner, but I'm faster out of the corner. Turns to the inside for this sweeper. And that's P15. Really good stuff. Next up is Lawson and Alonso. They all duo. Let's see if I can maybe slay the slipstream and make a move on this massive back straight. They get a good run. I do not. Up into 8th gear. Can I close in? Kind of. I am closing in, but not really quickly. Driving away from Perez though into the braking zone. I have a huge overspeed and I actually almost ran into the back of those two, but luckily I avoided all contact. They are side by side as we close lap 1. I thought about making it 3 wide, but it wouldn't have been the best idea with these two. I'm just going to let them fight and use the overtake mode as much as I can, because this will be a tough race for us. But yeah, on this first straight they are side by side. Alonso overtakes Lawson and I'm going to go right between the two of them, 3 wide into the hairpin once again, and we managed to stay ahead coming into this tight section, which means they will not be able to attack me once again until the back straight, which is good. Now lap 3, it seems like Lawson is going to try to attack us. We ran out of battery, so it's not going to be a hard job for him as he flies into P13, but these softs are really starting to wear out. At this point in the race. Of course, you wouldn't expect the softs to last very long. So we're going to pit at the next possible opportunity. This is lap 5 here. Under attack now from Lindblad. He's also going to fly past, even though I have a lot of battery saved up. He's got overtake mode, so more power. And him getting past is just going to be a sign for me that okay, I need to pull into the pits, get off these softs and try to make some pace on the mediums. So here we go now into the pits. Try not to overspeed. It's really easy to do it here, especially if you're not experienced with the track, which I am. So we're going to go on to the mediums. for our middle stint. We have not had the best time so far this season with the mediums, but hopefully they'll do better this time. Let's hope it's not it's a bad pit stop, yeah. I was going to say let's hope it's not a bad pit stop, but we have a fault on the front left. It's a 5-second pit stop. We lose some time then, and we come out in P24 as expected, but pretty much alone. At least we have overtake mode for one lap. Up to P19 after the pit stop shuffle, under attack from Lindblad once again. So we kind of managed to undercut him there. The mediums were actually pretty pacey at this point. I have a bit of battery saved up, better than 5 laps ago, but Lindblad is still going to fly past, and we'd fall down to P20, not really where we were to be. Still better than we qualify though, so at least we're on the up. As we come to the end of lap 10 here, a few people into the pits, including Alonso, Bortoleto, Hadger, Lawson, and we're going to overtake a few of them and come out just behind Hadger. Maybe we can fight him, but maybe we cannot. He's on fresher mediums and he's in a Red Bull. So just like in Bahrain, he's going to drive away. He's not going to fly away, even though Red Bull gives you wings. We understeer into this corner, which means Hulkenberg can fly past. Ocon is now in the slipstream as well, so we're going to lose a position as well as we run out of battery and we start regenning right in the middle of the straight. So another 2 positions lost. Back to P19. They fight into the next corner. Wow. So hopefully I can stay behind them close enough to get some overtake. I cannot. So lap 14, time for our second stop onto the hards to the end of the race. 15 laps is quite a long time to be on the hards, even though they are the longest. They have the longest life out of the 3 compounds, but it's still a long time. It's pretty much half the race. So I'm going to have to manage them. Luckily it's a better stop, no issues this time. It's 2.5, still in P24, but just crossing our fingers for the pit stop shuffle to gain back a few positions. It's honestly all I can hope for. It's not been the best weekend for us. Lap 24 here, and Perez flies by for P17. So yes, we did gain some positions after the shuffle. Hopefully I can stay close to Perez, because I really want to finish ahead of the Cadillacs, or at least one of them. So in the slipstream now, overtake is enabled. Lap 25 here into the hairpin. Can I make a move on Perez? It's going to be a pretty late dive. Fake a right and down the inside. We are going to be side by side to the hairpin. A bit of understeer, but on the exit, hopefully I get some good traction. Not really, but we are ahead into P17. Just a few laps to go now. Perez is going to fly by, or is he? No, he's not, due to the curved nature of this straight, which is not straight, but he will go by once I run out of energy. But this is fine, as long as I can stay close to him. I'll have enough battery for the back straight, and that's ideally where I want to make the move, if it's on the final lap. But no, I get a horrible wheel spin on the exit of the final corner, which means Perez drives away, and now Sainz is close to us. Our hards are really suffering. You can see on the bottom right there, they are orange, and Sainz is actually going to go around the outside of turn 1. Unbelievable scenes. He is in a Williams, so he is in a faster car than ours. Pretty much every car is faster than ours, excluding the Aston Martin. But on the final lap, you can see George Russell has won the race. So finally a win for Mercedes in this career mode. It's unbelievable how much it has taken them. But we are going to come home in P19. It's an okay recovery from P24, but it's really the best we could do. Hopefully Roman did better.
Here's the checkered flag. Here's our winner. By George, he's done it. Russell wins.
Well, it all came good in the end for them, but it wasn't an easy start. Not the most straightforward of days, but I think it shows great strength in an athlete as a driver when you can overcome a day like this and walk away still with a victory.
It's what every driver imagines when they start out on their long road towards Formula One. And for our lucky 3 today, here's the podium, waiting for
So taking a look at the final results, Charles Leclerc just behind Lando Norris, finishing out the podium. And where is Roman? Oh, Roman is in P22, so he made Q2, he qualified P16 and still finished behind us. So clearly something went wrong there. He was also on the 2-stop, but yeah, we're still on 0 points, just like the Austins, and yeah, not where we want to be, but hopefully some upgrades can come in onto the car for Canada. I think it's Canada, the next race, I hope so. And then we can start making some proper progress. With all that being said, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.